Hi there. Are you a business owner who was in the process of preparing to comply with the Corporate Transparency Act and ended up putting all that effort on hold because you just heard that the act was declared unconstitutional? If that is the case, I'll help you out. My name's Katherine Taylor. I'm the lawyer for business owners, and I'm going to explain to you why you should keep planning to comply with the Corporate Transparency Act. So, on March 1st, 2024, which is only less than 2 weeks ago, the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Alabama held that the Corporate Transparency Act, which is a federal act, is unconstitutional and barred enforcement of that act by FinCEN against the plaintiffs in the case. That court decision only affects the plaintiffs in the case, not anybody else who is thinking they are now not required to comply with the Corporate Transparency Act. The good news or the bad news, however you want to look at it, is that that decision will most likely be appealed, and it will first go to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, which only covers Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. And it will probably, that decision will probably be appealed to the Supreme Court of the United States, which will then, a decision by the Supreme Court would then affect pretty much every business in the United States. So at this point, the Supreme Court hasn't decided the case yet. The case isn't even at the Supreme Court yet. It really only applies to those plaintiffs in that case. Now, when that case was first decided, there was some talk as to whether FinCEN, the government agency responsible for implementing and enforcing the act, would issue some guidance as a result of that decision. Up until this point, there hasn't been any guidance issued by FinCEN, nor has Congress acted in any way to indicate that it's going to perhaps change the law. So again, until the Supreme Court acts, until FinCEN issues guidance, or until Congress acts, that act is going to be applicable to most businesses in the United States. Check out the other videos in this series about the Corporate Transparency Act, where I describe who has to comply, how you comply, and what the deadlines are for complying. Thanks.